US Premier League welcomes all of you cricket lovers around the world in this fantastic afternoon. It's a really hot afternoon, but right now we are ready to actually do the toss. So the both of the team right here, Washington, Seattle Hawks, and of course Maryland Mavericks, right here with me. So toss is going to happen.
Mavericks is gonna flip. Seattle's gonna call. Heads it's a call. And we're gonna redo it because it fell right in the center. Call. And tails is the winner.
Tails is the winner, so which is Mahesh. And yes, third game, both of the games you guys have won. So how much is the pressure?
Pressure is on, as I said, heat is on. But I know we have a very good opposition, so we don't want to take any game lightly. So we will be very excited to play against them. When it comes to toss, we would like to bat first and put a good total on the board and then defend it in the second inning.
All right, best of luck. And of course, I would love to have. Yes. Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm fantastic. So you guys are bowling. So what's your plan?
We do have a good bowling attack. Actually, we kind of made our team bowling heavy this game, so we're perfectly fine bowling second. I'm sorry, bowling first.
Okay, all right. Best of luck. Thank you so much. So, guys, CBTF Speed News and MTR is presenting this whole league of US Premier League, and we'll be right back.
So we are back for match 10 of the U.S. Premier League. Phase 2 well and truly underway here at SUNY Purchase College. And in this matchup, we have the Maryland Mavericks taking on the Washington Hawks. And the news is that the Mavericks have won the toss and they've elected to take first strike here against the Hawks. The batter's out in the middle. Toker Hassan, he'll be the man on strike. And Rohit Sawadekar, he is the man at the non-striker's end for the moment. And then Asad Ali will be the man to start the proceedings with ball in hand for the Washington Hawks. And it promises to be quite an interesting matchup. We have the umpires, umpire Philip Ray giving us this signal so that we are ready for play. And umpire Philip Ray is accompanied this afternoon by Kumar Saravana Venkatesan. And so both will officiate from the middle and keep things copacetic in that circle. And so they see some field adjustments being made here, and the man on screen, umpire Philip Ray, will be the one of the officiators here. So we're almost ready for play here in match 10. If you're just joining us, you would have missed the matchup between the Florida Sharks and the Carolina Eagles. Florida Sharks posting 91 all out as the first ball here, swing and a miss by Toker. 91 all out for the Florida Sharks, and that was chased comfortably by the Eagles, who got to 96. In fact, they ended on 95 for 4, so winning by 6 wickets with overs to spare. And so we are now in the second of the doubleheader and off and running, yet to see any scores on the board. The captain of the Maryland Mavericks, Mahesh Kasarkar, and the captain for the Washington Hawks, Baized Siddiqui. So here is the second ball as Assad runs in. And again, Toker is defending. So a couple of good deliveries to start for the Washington Hawks. Both teams here looking to position themselves for championship contention in this phase 2. Phase 1 was obviously won by the Florida Sharks. They have not been as sharp in phase 2. Have succumbed to a couple of defeats, a couple of emphatic defeats as it turns out, as here is Assad. And again, this time he is up and running, finds the gap expertly, and this one will probably just be pulled back just inside the cover boundary, but not before Toker is back for a second. And so he's up and running. The Maryland Mavericks are away. They're 2 for none. Straight off in this still the first over. Two teams that packs a lot of punch from top to bottom. The Maryland Mavericks, they're being led by Mahesh Kasarkar. Their team includes Toker Hassan, Rohit Sawadekar, Gaurav Rana, Puramendra Burhan, Praneeth Nemaru Gamola, and then Sankit Yadav, Suprit Madan. This one again is well driven down the ground. This time protection at mid-off. Can't stop one. Varshil Shah, Jamin Goswami, and Kapil Khanna are also included in that Maryland Mavericks team. So a team that, as I mentioned, packs punch from top to bottom. And so they're expected to put up a very strong showing here. And they're off to a decent start in the first over. Just 3 runs having been scored so far, but it's still early days yet. We're just underway here at SUNY Purchase College, and located in the county of Westchester, New York. And so SUNY purchased one of the hidden gems of local cricket, where they have a sparkling cricketing surface here that not many in the cricket fraternity elsewhere know about, as this time is an appeal for a catch at the wicket, and umpire Phil Ray unmoved. Catch taken by by Bazid Siddiqui, in fact by Haider Ali rather, and all the Washington Hawks players, including Captain Bazid Siddiqui, would have gone up asking, almost pleading with umpire Phil Ray to give them that result. In the end, he stands unmoved, not convinced that Rohit would have played, would have nicked it, and so the over continues. We remain at 3 for no loss. Rohit Sarwadekar, the man on strike. 1 ball remaining here in the first over. And so that will complete the over. 3 from it. And so it's Mavericks 3 for none after 1.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So 3 for none after 1. And so we'll see here who will continue the attack here for the Washington Hawks. And so it looks like it's Tamid Ahmed to continue, and he'll be bowling to Tokir Hassan. Hassan on 3, and so he's the only man to have troubled the scorers so far. And field adjustments still being made. We see Siddiqui marshalling his troops, making sure that they're positioned where he wants them to be. And so making some final adjustments and continually tweaking just to make sure they're precisely positioned. So Tamid making some last bit of final adjustments to the man out in the deep behind the square. And this one is well struck. Eludes the man at cover. Bison is giving chase, and it stops just inside the extra cover boundary. And so the batters are back for a couple. So good looking shot. Didn't have the legs to get all the way to the boundary, but well enough to get off the square for a couple. And so Tokir Hassan continues to look comfortable here, just building up his confidence. The wicket here has from judging from what has happened in the previous game, has grown to be somewhat unpredictable, and so batters now have had to feel their way, a swing and a miss. And in fact, that might have come off the inside edge or off the pad. We'll wait for a signal here. In fact, runs it is. And so the first boundary of the afternoon of match number 10 comes off the blade of Tokir Hassan, as we see the man giving chase there into the parking lot almost. And score pushes along. And so Tokir, you will expect him to sort of mix aggression with good defensive play. He is a player of quality, a 360 player, strong on the back foot. And so here he is, this one outside the off stump, and he just extends the front foot, watches as it whizzes by harmlessly. And so he will have Tamid Ahmed reload and come again. Just 7 balls faced by Tokyo so far, so still trying to get a feel for how the surface is playing. And we can tell from those of us who have been here all day that there are some balls that are kicking up off of a good length, and there are some that are keeping low, pitched in the same location. So batters have had to be very careful, play with a straight bat, play in behind the line of each delivery. Once you go across the line, you are putting your wicket at risk. And so we've seen the batters who have been successful that have been successful today have done just that, have been very careful of focused on playing straight, as they say, and using the width of long on and long off for their runs in that area in terms of where they're targeting as an area to score. And so another good delivery from Tamid. So he's started well. His first 2 deliveries went for 6 runs, including a boundary to the fine leg region where Tokyo was not in control. But Tokyo Hassan is a quality player, and you would expect that at some point he'll find the middle of the blade with regularity. This time he's deliberately steering this one into the third man region for a single to close out the second over, so he'll keep strike. And so after 2, 7 runs from that over, it's 10 for no loss, Maryland Mavericks.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So Asad Ali continues. So very warm afternoon here at SUNY Purchase. Not much breeze blowing across the surface anymore. Earlier in the afternoon we saw and we could feel the some cool breeze blowing across the surface. This afternoon, not so much. What is now a 96-degree day, and so very difficult on the cricketers. And it's right, just about 93 at the moment, if I should trust my trusty thermometer. And so 10 is the total on the board. So the man on your screen is Tokyo Hassan, a left-hander. Colorful shoe, colorful footwear. Seemingly the order of the day. This time a slow delivery is hit well and into the air and into the commentary box. And so that will slow down proceedings in the box for a moment. But in the end, no harm, no foul. As it fell just below the table. So the first maximum of the innings of Tokyo Hassan. And it goes up over extra cover and found its way into the media center. But the ball back with Asad Ali. So it's been the Tokyo Hassan show so far. He scored all 16 runs that are on the board. This time taken on the pad, and no chance to add to his total. So we have seen a very circumspect start in over number 1, where again the batters just look to be feeling out the bowlers and the surface. Only 3 runs were scored from that over. In over number 2, we saw 7 runs scored, and here we are in over number 3, and just 1 scoring shot so far, a maximum. And again, this time a play and a miss by Tokar Hassan. So good comeback here by Asad Ali after being taken out and over extra cover. He's come back with some quality deliveries. A couple of quality deliveries to follow. That 6 that was conceded. And so looking to wrap up the 3rd over here. We're early. We're in fact midway, just about midway through the power play. Only 16 on the board. And so Washington Hawks trying to dig their heels in here, looking to restrict the Maryland Mavericks here in the power play. And again, a swing and a miss. And not collected cleanly by Hyder Ali, but it brings the over to an end, just the 1 maximum from it. And so with 3 gone, it's Maryland Mavericks 16 for none.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So Tamid Amir will continue. His first over just cost him 7 runs. So he comes back here with 16 on the board, looking to be as economical as possible, trying to put the clamps on the ability to score runs in the power play. In the power play, only 2 fielders are allowed out in the deep. That is beyond the 30-yard circle. And he starts with a good delivery that Rohit is swinging at and not making any contact. And so Rohit yet to feel the ball on the blade of on the blade of his bat. And we have talked about how as openers and as opening batsmen, you tend to want to feel just the ball hitting the blade at sometimes, whether you're scoring or not. Sometimes you just want to just have that confidence of being able to get in behind the line of deliveries, seeing how the surface is playing, judge and estimate the height or the bounce of the wicket, and then go about your business of looking to score runs. When that is not happening, oftentimes confidence can wane. We can see batters start to struggle, and we can see batters then being dismissed when they're not able to score and to get off strike. And with that delivery, Rohit does just that. He does get off strike and opens his account, so he's away, and that's the first run that's being scored other than what Tokar Hassan has contributed. So Tokar has contributed 16 of the 17 runs on the board, and that was Tokar's first contribution to the Maryland Mavericks tally. And it comes all the way in over number 4 on the third ball of the 4th over. Oh, exquisitely played. Sublime through the offside. Right between between cover and point. And glorious, just reaching forward so elegantly as you see it going away there. And the fielder just turning and watching as it crosses the boundary in the deep. So elegant looking shot, exquisitely timed and sweetly played through the offside. So Tokyo-san showing his quality here, and he continues to build in confidence, continues to lead this charge for the Maryland Mavericks, and looks a player of immense quality. And perhaps having seen the follow-on delivery, and he's appealing to umpire Phil Ray, perhaps that ball may have been unfair, as was well wide of the off stump, as he took about a half a step across his stumps in an attempt to get to the line of the delivery, and perhaps umpire Ray may have interpreted that as him then changing the width that he would have allowed had Tokyo sort of just maintained his ground, or maintained the position that he's standing when he's having taken his guard. And this time it will be a dead ball signaled as Tamid aborts the run-up. So relatively slow sledding so far for the Maryland Mavericks, going at just above 5 and over in the power play, so not the most brisk start, but a decent one nonetheless. And this one is well struck, but straight up to the captain at extra cover. So Bayezid sacrificing the body there, just positioning himself and allowing the ball to just rush into his body. That will complete the over. 5 runs from it. It's 4 overs gone, 21 for none.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So Dhruv Dagley has been introduced. And so he'll continue the attack to Rohit Sarwadekar. Sarwadekar on 1. Having used up some 5 deliveries already. So a strike rate that's well below par. Just a 20 strike rate. So batters in the T20 format look to strike it at 100 or better. And of course the 20 strike rate compares to Tokyo-san, who's striking it at 105. So not explosive by any means, but still early days yet for the Maryland Mavericks, as they look to set a total. No damage yet done by the Washington Hawks. And so all 10 wickets in hand here for Maryland. And this one outside the off stump. And again, pace off. And so good variation being employed here by Dhruv Dagley. Just mixing up the pace of each delivery, varying the trajectory of each delivery as well. And here allowing the ball to spin and turn, and again finds backward point. So Rohit struggling to find places to score around this surface, and has consumed quite a number of deliveries. And again back and across and can't score. So the good bowling of Dhruv Dagley continues here for the Washington Hawks. And this time a wide signal by umpire Ray. So the Washington Hawks coming off of a 13-run victory last week against the New York Gothams. Washington posting 128. In fact, that was in week 1. Down the track and looking to tug this one into the onside. Can't do so successfully. Last week, the Texas Cowboys would have defeated the Hawks by 29 runs. The Cowboys posting 197 all out in their 20 overs. In response, Washington were only able to get to 168 for 7. As this one is hit well down the ground, but there's protection at long on, and it goes away. In fact, the man out there doing a bit of disservice to his bowler, an ordinary bit of fielding, and it goes into the boundary. And so that's 4 runs to close out the over. It's 26 for none.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
ऐसे मत लेट किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
रही है.
रखो. हाँ.
बेबी की चिट-चैट 3 minutes में? Impossible. मगर MTR का 3-minute उपमा. Just add hot water, mix, cover और 3 minutes में ready. MTR 3-minute breakfast. India का breakfast.
So Bilal Zulfikar has been given the ball. He'll continue the attack, and he'll bowl to Tokar Hassan. Tokar on 20, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. And Tokar has really looked to be the stabilizing force in this batting attack for the Maryland Mavericks, and looking to help to guide the Maryland Mavericks innings here, looking for partners to bat around him. So far, his partner, Rohit Sarwadekar, has contributed 5 to his account. This one is hit well down the ground. This should be a boundary. And it's gone into the boundary. We get the confirmation, and it's in fact a no ball as well. And so that will be a free hit upcoming here as we see the circle atop the head from the umpire. And so missing not only missing his length, but also we also overstepping the crease. So insult to injury, and this one will result in a free hit upcoming here. Here is the free hit delivery, and does well. And how many times have we seen that, where the bowler comes up with his best delivery on the free hit, and so often we see that the free hit ends up being a dot, and in this occasion it is once again. So a good response by Tamid Ahmed, having been taken down the ground on the first delivery, having overstepped, coming right back with a quality delivery. So opening stand here, looking somewhat enterprising. Not an explosive start by any means, but certainly workmanlike and definitely very effective so far. Again, all 10 wickets in hand And therefore you would take the effort as this one is skied. Down towards third man, and it's dropped. So ball was in the air. A chance as we see a ball off the edge in the air for some time. And the man at third man comes in and it hits him square in the palm off the hands. And you see it there falling to the turf. A chance goes a begging. Toker Hassan gives the life and it's not accepted. So we'll keep an eye on that opportunity to see if it comes back to haunt the Washington Hawks. As Toker would have offered a chance then at 24. Only 32 runs on the board now. So again, he's done most of the scoring for the Maryland Mavericks. Struck well here by Rohit. And this time it's gone up and over. And so Rohit hits one out of the middle of the screws finally. And he times it exquisitely as you see him hitting straight down the ground here. Short porch at SUNY Purchase and into the parking lot region. And so he picks up his first maximum. And Rohit joins the party as he goes into double digits. So umpire Kumar having a close look at the ball that's been returned. Sometimes when the ball is hit that hard and that far into the parking lot, it's an asphalt surface out there. And so at times the ball can sustain some bit of damage. And so the umpires quite rightfully will often want to check the ball to make sure that it's not damaged beyond where it's no longer fair for use. And so umpire Kumar seeming satisfied now. And good comeback delivery then from Tamid Ahmed. So this over already has conceded 12. As you see the MTR logo up on your screen. MTR, one of the associate sponsors of the US Premier League. And again, without the sponsorship of the partners of US Premier League, this sort of tournament could not be possible. As this one played up into the offside again, no chance to score here. And so a good comeback from Tamid after being taken out of the ground by Rohit Sarwadekar has come back quite well. A couple of dots ensuing. And so with one ball, one legal delivery remaining here in over number 6. And so one legal delivery remaining in the power play. Looking to see if they can effect a dismissal. This time he can't. And this is driven well up to the mid-off region. And so that single to Rohit will close out the power play. So 13 runs from the over. It's 39 for none at the end of the power play.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtspnews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtspnews.com and stay ahead।
So 39 for none. And chance offered by Toker Hassan in the previous over. The man out in the deep, Tamid Ahmed, had the ball carry right into the palm of his hands, just above the breadbasket. Couldn't pull it in. And so sees the chance going a begging. Will that come back to haunt the Washington Hawks? That's the question we'll have to watch and see as Dhruv Dagley continues. Starts with conceding a single. So 40 up on the board. And wide ball is signaled here by umpire Kumar. Oh, he's bowled him. So again, swinging across the line is not your best way to attack bowlers on this surface. And here you see Toker going across the line of the delivery that kept a bit low, not very low, but certainly underneath the trajectory that he had been expecting. And so the off stump is knocked backwards. A big wicket falls here as Tokir Hassan doesn't take advantage of the life he had been given by Tamid Ahmed. He falls for 25. It's now 41 for 1 as the first wicket falls here for the Maryland Mavericks.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtspnews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtspnews.com and stay ahead।
So Praneeth Nemarugomala walks to the middle and replaces Tokir Hassan, takes guard from umpire Kumar Saravana Venkatesan. And so he will face his first delivery from Dhruv Dagley, who was effected the dismissal to break the opening partnership. And so he starts straight away, punching this delivery up to long off. And so he's away, is Praneeth. So slow sledding for the Maryland Mavericks. That said, they managed to emerge from the power play unscathed, not having lost any wickets. This time he's going down the ground and running across was the man there, couldn't get there. And so Rohit goes upstairs again, as you see him here, just extending the front foot, ball in the slot, and just hitting down the ground. And we've seen batters who have been successful at this particular ground doing very well and being very productive hitting down the ground. And they have certainly benefited from the short porch by hitting straight. And so the ball is finally retrieved in the deep. 6 good-looking runs to Rohit. That's his second maximum of the afternoon. And so he brings the Maryland Mavericks within striking range of their first team milestone, within a couple of runs of crossing the half-century mark. So I was making the point that while the Maryland Mavericks emerged from the power play unscathed, having not lost any wicket, immediately after the power play, they do lose the services of their attacking opener, Tokir Hassan, as he was bowled by Dhruv Dagley with a delivery that might have kept a bit lower than he had anticipated. Again, not a delivery that did anything terribly unusual, but the fact that he had played across the line of the delivery ended up being his undoing, as the over comes to a conclusion just 9 runs from it, plus the wicket of Tokir Hassan, is 48 for 1 at the end of 7. So just under 7 and over, the going rate for Maryland Mavericks. So again, on course, we don't anticipate that this wicket is no longer a. We don't anticipate that this wicket is still a 180, 190 wicket. Perhaps scores in the 150, 160 range. Probably should be defendable on this surface. It's become somewhat of a batting surface that favors bowling units, as we've seen balls do some unusual things from time to time. So that can keep the batters a bit off guard to some degree. But that said, the batters have responded well. As this time hitting down the ground again, man in the deep, looks up, takes the catch, a good one, and that's the end of Praneeth. He has to go, and so it's now 48 for 2 as Asad Ali out in the deep reels it in. 48 for 2. Praneeth is on his way. So after escaping the power play without losing any wickets, straight away we've seen consecutive overs here where wickets have fallen. Tokar Hassan going in the previous over, the 7th. And here in the 8th over on ball number 2 from Masood Haq. Straight away Praneeth looking to elevate the run rate here for the Maryland Mavericks. Succumbs in the deep as Asad Ali makes no mistake out in the deep. Safe pair of hands. Just had to move a few paces to his left. And the reverse cup option employed to seize the back of Praneeth. Nemaru Gomala. And so he doesn't trouble the score as much. Just 1 from 3 deliveries. And so the new batter that walks out is the captain. So Mahesh Kesaka walks to the middle, and he'll take guard from umpire Phil Ray. Or in fact, umpire Kumar. And so he holds the 4 fingers up, indicating that there are 4 deliveries to come to the new batter, Mahesh. And so he would have shouted a right arm over, 4 to come. So 48 for 2. And again, bowlers on top here at SUNY Purchase. It's been a bowler's wicket all day, morning into the afternoon. In the first match, we saw the Florida Sharks restricted to 91 all out inside of 19 overs. And so far here in this particular match, it's bowlers on top. And we're into the 8th over and only 48 runs are on the board. So that speaks to the quality of the bowling. That's one, but also to the advantage that this batting surface has ascribed to the bowling units. And so bowlers are certainly benefiting from the fact that the wicket is a bit unpredictable. Perhaps there might be some turn and offer. And again, a delivery that's making height, just pitched on a very decent length. And so that will close out the over. A wicket maiden to Masood to start. And so after 8, it's 48 for 2. So you see the playing surface here at SUNY Purchase. And see some bit of construction happening in the background. There are a couple of tents out in the deep where the fielders where the Washington, where the Maryland Mavericks team have set up. And it's a very picturesque playing surface here. So creating facilities surrounded by trees in the distance. Some parking lots adjoining the buildings at SUNY Purchase College. Also are the backdrop to this playing facility. It's a small field, particularly in the long off, long on regions. And so we've seen batters look to score quite a bit in that general vicinity. As another single taken here by Rohit pushes him close. And we see Kunal Baride and Bayezid Siddiqui on screen. The captain, Kunal, not playing today. And the Maryland Mavericks team being led by Mahesh. As this one driven again up into the offside for another single. That will bring up to 50. So 50 comes up for the Maryland Mavericks. It comes up in over number 9. And so Maryland Mavericks, you might say, going at a relatively slow pace at the moment, but perhaps at a smart pace considering that the batters are no longer in command here. Perhaps on the back of some very unpredictable deliveries that have come off the surface. So batters no longer playing with as much confidence as we saw them do in week 1 when we saw 2 centuries scored on day 1 of round 1. And we'll sort of take you back to that afternoon. We saw a century from Prajapati of the New Jersey Titans, as he scored. Vandit Prajapati scored 108 in that chase, as the Titans successfully chased 199 or 198. This one again hit down the ground, and later that afternoon we saw this very same Maryland Maverick team. They showed up, and we saw Praneeth Nimarugomala put up 100 himself. He scored 105 as Maryland put up a 236, which has been the highest score posted on this ground so far in phase 2. In fact, so far in either phase. And still today Praneeth did not get among the runs, but nonetheless it's been slow sledding for the Maryland Mavericks as the over comes to an end, and 6 runs from it. 54 for 2.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So we're back with the action. So into over number 10, and Masood Haq continues. Starts with a couplet with a dot and then concedes one out to the deep. So it brings Rohit back onto strike. Rohit striking it at runner ball. 22 from 22 to this point. Again, slow sledding, perhaps not something to be focused on, given the fact that run a ball may be the order of the day here, or just above run a ball. So if batting teams look to go in the range of, say, 7, 8 and over, 140, 160, or any scores between 140 160 may be par. No longer par, probably no longer in that 180 190 range. And we've seen quite a bit of success enjoyed by batters over the past several weeks through round 1 and round 2. But certainly today we've seen bowlers come to the fore and bowling units come to the fore here, and looking to have batters apply themselves, use proper technique, proper batting approach to put their teams in the ascendancy. There's another single taken here. And so batters for the moment just looking to turn the strike over, get off strike as quickly as possible, keep the scoreboard moving. When the bad balls come, try to hit them out of the ground, and rather than trying to target going square of the wicket, rather go down the ground, which is where we've seen quite a bit of runs come. Again, the area down the ground. In fact, the ground itself is a smallish ground, but certainly. Oh, he's gone. So again, going across the line of the delivery is Mahesh this time, and so he loses his middle stump as we see the delivery here, and just swinging all around a straight delivery. You see the middle stump knocked back there, and so now it's 56 for 3. The captain goes. He falls cheaply for 4. 56 for the loss of 3 wickets. And that will actually bring us to the halfway point. So 10 overs completed. We're at the halfway point. 56 for 2 after 10.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
ब्रेकफास्ट भूल गया. कर लूंगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
जाएगी and then-
हाँ.
बेबी की चिट-चैट 3 minutes में इम्पॉसिबल. मगर MTR का 3 minute उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर, मिक्स, कवर और 3 minutes में रेडी. MTR 3 minute breakfast, इंडिया का ब्रेकफास्ट.
So you see the Washington Seattle Hawks up on screen, the roster, and followed by the Maryland Mavericks. Maryland Mavericks today being led by Mahesh, shows as the vice captain here. Has Kunal Baride not in the lineup today. And so these are the two teams vying for contention in this phase 2. Match number 10 of the U.S. Premier League. We get the signal for the resumption from umpire Philip Ray. And so Rohit and Supreet Madan, the man who has arrived out in the middle, he stands at the non-striker's end for the moment. This one is being worked into the onside, and single taken to get off strike. And so Bayezid Siddiqui, the captain, has introduced himself into the attack, so he comes in here in over number 11. And so now Supreet will be the man on strike. Supreet, a hard-hitting batsman, a man who favors going over the top. And so the question is, will he stick to that approach, or will he adjust here, recognizing that this wicket may be favoring the bowlers to some degree? So that's the question. We'll have to watch and see how he approaches the remainder of this innings. We're just at the halfway point, so 10 overs to go, including this one. Just 57 runs on the board, so they're going at less than run a ball, the Maryland Mavericks. And so will they be content to remaining around run a ball, or will they look to push for 7, 8 and over or better? So he's down the track straight away. And so his intent on show, as perhaps not looking to just stand on the crease or being trapped on the crease, pegged back by this bowling unit. So intent perhaps looking to take a more attacking posture. And this time he's back and just steering this one back along the track. Siddiqui not able to haul in his own bowling. So you see the logo once again of our associate sponsor, the MTR. I want to say good afternoon to our friends of MTR. Again, one of the associate sponsors of US Premier League. Without sponsorship, these leagues cannot be successful. And so we want to thank all the sponsors and all those whom would have made US Premier League possible through their sponsorship and support and volunteerism and all that goes into putting an event like this over several weeks together. All the media staff, all the technical team, ensuring that you can get quality streaming, quality video technology, as this one is hit down the ground and up and over. For a moment, the man out there thought he might have had a play. In the end, we just can only look up and watch it go over as you see Rohit coming down the track and doing well, getting right to the pitch of the delivery. And he smashes it down the ground and out of the playing area for a maximum. So that takes him into the 30s and moves the scoring along. 11 overs completed here at SUNY Purchase. 64 for 3 at the end of 11.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So 9 overs remaining here. The news is that the Maryland Mavericks won the toss earlier this afternoon, elected that they'll take first strike. And so we get the indication that that delivery from Masood was unfair. So wide has been indicated by umpire Phil Ray. Again, this one driven down the ground, and we continue to see batters when they play through the line and play down the ground, they seem to have had better outcomes than when they look to go across the line, look to target the mid-wicket and backward square, backward point, deep extra cover region. That's when they seem to be getting themselves into trouble. Once they hit straight down the ground and straight through the line, looking to score, as they say, in the V, so to speak, they tend to be much more productive. That said, the bowlers have also recognized that hitting down the ground is a favored pastime for the batters, and so have looked to shorten their length at times. And this one in the air and well taken. Oh, had to run a long way, dove at the end, shoestring catch, and my word, ball in the air. You see it here as the man comes around, and you'll see him coming to your screen now and extending himself. And such brilliance. Preet, the man out there, had to run a long way, and he sees the back of Rohit, who was again looking to go big. And so Preet pulls off a stunner, Preet Patel. And so it's 66 for 4.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So the new batter coming to the center is Kapil Khanna, and he'll stand at the non-striker's end for the moment. Supreet Madan would have crossed with the ball in the air. Come October 1st, no longer will that be allowed, as the rule change now requires that the new batter walking to the middle will have to be the man on strike in situations like those. And so Supreet will benefit from the legacy rule for the time being. 64 runs, 66 runs on the board with just about 50 deliveries to go. And this one is being driven well up into the offside, down to the long off region. And so Supreet pushes up to 3. That will close out the over. And so it's 3 runs from it. The successful one hit 66 for 4.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं।
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
ब्रेकफास्ट भूल गया, कर लूँगा,
इतनी
कर
बार
लूँगा।
बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट किया करो।
3 minutes।
अभी तुम्हारे पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
जाएगी,
रखूँ?
then
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
बेबी की चिट चैट 3 minutes में? Impossible. मगर MTR का 3 minute उपमा, just add hot water, mix, cover और 3 minutes में ready. MTR 3 minute breakfast. इंडिया का breakfast.
So 67 for 4, you see on screen after 12. Maryland Mavericks winning the toss and electing to take first strike on a very warm day here in New York. In fact, it's warm all around the U.S. There's no respite for those whom are out on the cricket field or in any outdoor extracurricular activity for that matter. blazing heat wave globally, as this one again driven down the ground, and batter cross for one. So that will bring Capelcana onto strike. He's yet to get off the mark, hasn't faced any deliveries just yet, or in fact has picked up a single. Oh, in the air, man in the deep, oh, and takes it. And for a moment looked to be uncertain. And so it's Juvil Dagley, the man out in the deep. He pulls it in. And so now it's going to be 69 for 5.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So Varshil Shah comes to the middle, and he replaces Supreet Madan, who was well caught in the deep by Juvil Dagley. And so he went for 4, did Supreet. And so we've had 5 wickets fall so far. It's 69 for 5. Batters out. Tokir Hassan for 25. Rohit Sarwadekar for 30. Praneeth Nimarugomala, he fell for 1. Mahesh Kesakar went for 4. Supreet Madan also went for 4. Wickets falling at 41, 48, 56, 66 and 69. So it's been a good performance from this Washington Hawks bowling unit. As Capelcana, the man on strike here, he is on 1, having faced just 1 ball. Both batters on 1, so 2 brand new batters at the wicket. And with 2 new batters, certainly the odds favor the bowling unit, Washington Hawks, as these batters will have to look to establish themselves, try to build some momentum, try to put a partnership together. Not the easiest to do. Well struck through the offside. A man looks up at backward point, and he's in retrieval mode. As you see it here, just stepping across the wicket and a slashing shot through the offside, up and over backward point. And there you see the man just running to get the ball back in play. So good looking shot by Capelcana. That actually will end up closing out the over. 7 runs from it. It's 74 for 5.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So a ball is driven up into the offside. They scamper for 1. They're coming back for a second. And an appeal for a run out. And umpire again, Ray, right on the spot. Not interested as we watch the replay here. Throw comes in and the batter is well home. So a good decision in the end from umpire Ray. A loud appeal as the fielders were convinced that they had Capelcana short of his ground. in the end, two runs completed, and so the Maryland Mavericks continue to push on, going at just under 6 and over. So not on course to put anything imposing on the board. The Hawks are halfway through the batting lineup with 5 wickets already taken, looking to sort of pick up anything else that's on offer. Whether or not this batting lineup can bat deep is left to be seen. But that's in the equation here for the Washington Hawks. Maryland Mavericks have to be thinking maybe 130, and we just want to bat through all 20 overs here. And the longer they keep their batters out in the middle, the better the prospect of being able to get past, say, 125 when get in that 130-ish range, which could be par here. No longer is this an easy batting surface. Batters will have to come out and apply themselves. And so far, both Varshil and Kapilkana looking content on just getting off strike, keeping the scoreboard moving. 38 balls remain in the innings. And ball again defended up to the offside and running quickly from backward point, making sure that the batters don't think about trying to advance the total. Backward point coming in and making sure that the scores remain as they are. This one steered away again. Man well positioned at short third man. It goes straight to him. That will complete the over. 5 runs from it. It's 79 for 5 at the end of 14.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So, Dhruv Dagley has been reintroduced. His first 3 overs cost him 20 runs. Did pick up the wicket of Tokar Hassan. And so he was the man to have picked up the very first wicket, breaking that opening partnership. Wicket falling in over number 7. And he starts well. And since that first wicket falling in over number 7, we've seen a wicket fall in over number 8, one in over number 10, one in over number 12 and 13, respectively. And so it's been steady progress by the Washington Hawks as they have done well just to keep things very tidy, very steady. Again, this one is being guided away. They go for one. They're going to come back for a second. The throw comes into the non-striker's end, but the batters are through for a couple. So good progress being made by the Washington Hawks, continuing to be very restrictive. Down the leg side this time. Wide is the call. Rightly so, as Dagley just losing his line for the moment. And see the beat the heat this summer indication from MTR, the makers of Badam, one of the Badam drink. Very tasty treat. Drink like an energy drink somewhat with some almond flavor. Very quality product, and all courtesy of MTR. So on a day that's hot as this one is, you would want to see as much of that product as possible, as this one is paddled away for another single. In fact, a couple of runs there as this will close out the over, and so 8 runs from it. In fact, one more. And he's taken on the pad. Umpire Ray not interested. That closes out the over. It's 87 for 5.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट
So
किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
जाएगी and then
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
बेबी की चिट चैट 3 मिनट्स में इम्पॉसिबल. मगर MTR का 3 मिनट उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर, मिक्स, कवर और 3 मिनट्स में रेडी. MTR 3 मिनट ब्रेकफास्ट, इंडिया का ब्रेकफास्ट.
So Bilal Zulfikar replaces Dhruv Dagley. Dhruv would have bowled his 4 over allotment for 1 for 27. 4 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 10 from Masood Haq. So he's been the pick of the bowlers so far. And so Bilal being introduced. We're into the last 5 here, the fast 5. And so Bilal comes in. And this one is being tugged away towards backward square. And so Kapil Khanna picks up run number 10, so he goes up into double figures. It brings Varshil onto strike. Again, Maryland going at just under 6 and over, so projection in the 115, 120 range. This one worked away again towards backward square. Man on his horse, comes around, does well. And does keep the ball in play for a, can't stop a couple though. And so the man out there in the deep, Jamel Parion. And so that brings, in fact, that keeps Varshil on strike. So 28 balls remain. This is the second of the doubleheader today. Tomorrow, the New Jersey Titans will take on the Pennsylvania Cavaliers, and then the Texas Cowboys will take on New York Gothams. Matches starting at 10 and at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And so we encourage fans and spectators to tune in or head on up to SUNY Purchase and take in this wonderful game of cricket. Ball is paddled out to the backward point region. Another single taken this time by Kapil. So he pushes up to 11. As you can see on screen there, Varshil on 9, 92 for 5, with still just 26 balls remaining. Well struck down the ground. Man well positioned at long off. And they keep the batters to just 1. So very difficult to pierce this field, particularly when you're hitting down the ground. You either have to go over the top or hit straight, almost pick that gap between long on and long off to get maximum value for your shots. And this one is hit well into the mid-wicket region. Man gives chase, does well, doesn't get the boot onto it. And so Jamel Parion, running for all he was worth, tried to get the boot down. But in the end, ball just skips over the boot. So football career and perhaps not in the forecast for Jamel Parion. The over comes to an end. 10 runs off the over. 97 for 5.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So 92 degrees here in Harrison, New York. 94 degrees in New York City. 95 in Astoria. 96 in Brooklyn. So we'll take 92 up here. We're still 4 degrees better than some other places in New York City. And a blistering day across, well, we won't claim it here in New York. It's across the U.S. It's just blistering heat everywhere. And not the best day to be playing cricket, but cricketers are out here entertaining, doing what they do best, which is compete against each other. As Asad Ali, the man who has been reintroduced into the attack, he bowled 2 overs, none for 9 at the top. And so he comes back here into the fray. 98 on the board for the loss of 5 wickets. Only 23 balls remaining in the innings here for the Maryland Mavericks. If they go run a ball, that will get them to about $120. Cut away, straight up to backward point. Doesn't field it well. There's protection out in the deep. And the man comes around, does well to keep the ball from going into the boundary, but can't stop a couple. And so that pushes Kana up to 17. It brings up the 100. The 100 comes up here in over number 17 for the Maryland Mavericks. And so while they may not be satisfied that they have enough, they probably will be content knowing that they've crossed that 3-figure mark and knowing that this is a difficult surface to negotiate. And so what more can they contribute in these last 22 overs will perhaps be on the minds of Varshil Shah and Kapil Khanna. Their partnership is now 31 from 23 balls. So the second most productive partnership of the afternoon. The first was the opening stand between Tokar Hassan and Rohit Sawadekar. They posted 41 from 39 at the top. And so this then the next best partnership that we've had. 3 deliveries remaining. And so 101 on the board. 21 balls or 3 overs after this one. And we've seen an afternoon, a morning, afternoon, effectively split with or paced with a couple of low-scoring matches. And in some of these low-scoring affairs, they can be tight, can be quite exciting. And we'll have to see if this one unfolds in that manner. Certainly the Maryland Mavericks, we know they have a potent batting lineup. We saw them post 236 on this very ground 2 weeks ago on opening day of Phase 2 on the back of a blistering century from Praneeth Nemaru Gomala. And Nemaru Gomala is certainly a man who can hit the ball a long way. Didn't get among the runs today, which perhaps can explain why the Maryland Mavericks have sort of ambled along in their innings. Nonetheless, as we say in cricket, runs on the board are runs on the board. And once you can put those runs on the board, oftentimes it turns into scoreboard pressure applying that level of intensity sometimes that puts pressure on the opposition, forces them into taking undue risks, compromising wickets in the process, as the final ball of over number 17 here is being driven into the offside, up into the extra cover region, and that will close out the over, 6 runs from it. And so with 17 completed, it's the Maryland Mavericks batting first here against the Washington Hawks. They're 103 for 5.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट
So
किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
जाएगी.
रखूँ. हाँ.
बेबी की चिट-चैट 3 minutes में? Impossible. मगर MTR का 3 minute उपमा. Just add hot water, mix, cover और 3 minutes में ready. MTR 3 minute breakfast. India का breakfast.
So 3 overs remaining. And so Tamid has been reintroduced. He bowled 3 overs, none for 25. And so he comes back here at over number 18. With 5 wickets in hand, the Maryland Mavericks, if they're going to go, they'll have to go now. We're in the fast 5 section. And the fast 5 overs reflect the last 5 overs, or the death overs of the innings. And so we're at the death. It's now or never for the Maryland Mavericks. And again, we acknowledge title sponsor CBTF, who provides Speed News, the fastest cricket news in the world. And so I want to say good afternoon once again to all our folks at CBTF. And you see the logo up there just in the back of me, as this one is driven up into the offside and towards the extra cover boundary. The batters go for 1. They'll come back for a couple. And so they do get 2 easily in the end. Tamid Ahmed will close out his bowling spell here at the 18th over. So he has yet to pick up a wicket, and in fact just one of 3 bowlers not to have picked up a wicket on the afternoon. Bilal Zulfikar bowled 1 over for 10. He has not picked up one. Asad Ali bowled 3 overs, none for 15. And the other person here is Tamid. All 3 other bowlers utilized have at least 1 wicket to their tally, led by Masood Haq, who bowled his allotment, 4 overs, 1 made and 3 for 10. Pick of the bowlers. The captain, Bazid Siddiqui, bowled 2 overs, 1 for 15. And then Dhruv Dagley bowled 4 overs, 1 for 27. He has bowled his full allotment as well. And so they have been the wicket takers on the afternoon for the Washington Hawks. Ball tugged again into the onside. And up to mid-wicket for a single. So just 15 balls remain then. As Bridge Patel, the man out at mid-wicket, saving a couple of runs, and we've seen a good effort in the field from the Washington Hawks. And this one again punched away up to through the offside, up to backward point. Single straight to the fielder, but single was always on the fielders. The batters took off immediately as the ball was played. Did not draw a throw in the end. And so score moves on. 5 runs are already conceded in this over. And 14 balls remain. And the ball played back along the track, can't score. And so if you're bowling at the death and balls aren't crossing the ropes, you have to be content with that outcome. And so advantage Washington Hawks. That said, the difficulty of the surface, that pendulum swings both ways, as the Hawks will have to come and bat on the surface to chase whatever total the Maryland Mavericks end up with ultimately. And so that is one other question remaining to be answered. 13 balls remain. So this time a swing and a miss, and in fact a wicket has gone here as the bail is actually on the ground, and so the off stump has been disturbed, and Varshil Shah has to go. It's now 108 for 6 as Tamid Ahmed strikes with the final ball of his spell. 5 runs off the over, successful one after 18. It's 108 for 6. So Poro comes to the wicket, and ball is played up into the offside. They go for one. They come back for a second. So very sharply taken, and good communication, good intent. Purpose was clear right at the outset. Both batters clear-minded, knowing exactly what needed to be done. And so that's a couple of runs. A couple of runs to Kapilkana. So 110 for 6, 110 for 6. The total on the board. So Asad Ali. And this one is driven well up into the offside towards the towards the extra cover region. And the batter scampered through for one. And the feint throw sent Poro scampering back into his ground. As the Maryland Mavericks, with just 10 balls remaining, looking to see whether they can push beyond 120 to at least put the asking rate at 6 or better. Right now it's 6.05, so if they continue to just go run a ball, they'll get there. But at the death, you would think they would be looking for much more than run a ball at this juncture. 4 wickets in hand. So Pura Berman will face his first ball. Here is Assad. Gets a full toss. He's hitting this one into the onside. Long on, comes in quickly. And keep the batters to just one. And so Poro will get off the mark. 9 balls remain. 112 for 6, the total on the board. As Kapilkana has batted well for his 26 from 20 balls. And has really played a good hand here for the Maryland Mavericks. Again, we know this is a team that has the batting prowess, the depth of batting to put big totals on the board. So the fact that they haven't been able to do so today speaks to the quality of the bowling unit, plus the effort, plus the impact of the uncertainty of the wicket itself, the unpredictable factor, and certainly we've seen the bounce be very variable at times. We've seen balls kick off a good length. We've seen balls keep low, pitched on a good length. And so batters have struggled to cope with the surface. Nonetheless, 113 runs on the board has certainly required an effort to even get to that point. And so this chase will likely be a tricky one, irrespective of the final number. This one again punched away through the offside, and it will find the gap. And it pierces the gap perfectly. That will be a boundary to Poro Berman. And so he goes up to 5. Total now 117 for 6. 117 for 6 the total. As partnership here starting to blossom again, not yet into double figures. We've seen a couple of decent partnerships on the afternoon. So Asad Ali, the man with ball in hand. And so in the previous over was Tamid Ahmed. So Asad Ali. Ball hit down the ground towards long off. Man runs across. Can he get there? He's on his horse. Gives up the chase. And it beats him into the boundary. So 4 runs to Poro Berman. So he finishes with one of the better overs from a Maverick standpoint. 13 runs from it. It's 121 for 6 at the end of 19 with 6 balls remaining.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So Tamid Ahmed to bowl the final over here. And so he starts with a ball seemingly down the leg side. Oh, now we get the confirmation of with the wide. As it was unclear initially whether or not the arms would have been extended to confirm the wide. So 122 the total for 6. And Tamid Ahmed, 3 overs, 1 for 18. And this one hit well, finds the gap perfectly. And so Kapil Khan has come and played a very good innings down here at the end. Has come in and certainly played a good cameo here, a good hand. And has scored 31 from just 22 balls. So it's really let the bat do the talking. Just 3 boundaries in his innings. So hasn't been in full command, but not unexpectedly given how difficult the surface has been to negotiate. But has certainly put his hand up to lead the way here for the Maryland Mavericks. Has surpassed Rohit Sarwadekar as the top scorer for the Maryland Mavericks. 5 balls remain, 126 for 6 the total. And this one is clipped away through the onside. They go for 1. They'll come back. It's gone all the way. And so another boundary here to Kapil Khan. And so these are very valuable runs here at the end. With still 4 deliveries remaining. If Maryland Mavericks should push past 1 in the range of 140 or even push beyond 140, this could be quite a chase. And in fact, could perhaps even push this ask beyond the reach of the Washington Hawks. Again, given the difficulty of the surface, not based on the quality of the batting opposition. We know the Washington Hawks have quality, but this is not by any means an easy surface to negotiate. 35 to Capilcana. 4 balls to go. And interesting backing up stance by Poro Berman. And he gets a full toss. Does Kana, which he's pulling down to fine leg, and they are scampered through for 2. And in fact, leg by is the call, and it's gone for a boundary. So 4 leg bys will be effective in keeping that scoreboard moving along. And so it's 134 now on the board, you see, with 3 balls still to go. And so, again, another productive over here for the Maryland Mavericks. We saw them score 13 off the last over. Already 13 conceded in this over, with we're still only halfway through. And so, as we see, the great Danny Khan making his way into the ground. And Danny Khan, the president of the U.S. Cricket Umpires Association, and the man who makes sure that all the coordination is done for the umpires. There's another couple of runs picked up here by Capilcana, and you see Danny Khan there looking very comfortable despite the heat, giving the thumbs up and making sure things are all happening to his liking here, as make sure that the umpires are coordinated at all these events, not only at the U.S. Premier League, but also at minor league cricket as well, across multiple different locations across the East Coast. And so I want to say good afternoon to Danny Khan. So a couple of delivers remaining here in the innings for the Maryland Mavericks. 136 runs on the board, I think, is going to be a good ask. It's not going to be easy to chase 136 plus on this tricky surface. And so, given the circumstance, one would think the Maryland Mavericks and their team will likely be content with going into the hut with this total, given the circumstances. Again, the interesting backup stance from Poro Berman. Almost can't even say it looks like a cricket stance as much as it looks like a baseball player with 1 foot on the bag looking to take off to steal a base. And 136 with the final ball to come here. Capilcana, the man on strike, he's on 37. Last ball. And it's hit well into the offside. Long off comes around. They go for 1. They're challenging for the second. The throw comes in. The man is challenging. He's running for all he's worth. Not out, says the umpire, as he gets home for 2. That will close things out at 138 for 6. 138 for 6 at the end of 20 overs. And so we'll take a break here and come back with a couple of interviews. And then on the other side of the interviews, we'll return for the chase, where Washington Hawks will need 139 from 120 balls if they should emerge victorious here against the Maryland Mavericks.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है. इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com. यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो. विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
All right, after a fantastic score, all right, Kapil is here from Maryland Mavericks. Kapil 40, almost 40, I can say, 39 runs from 27 balls. So what do you think about it?
It was important 40 runs for the team because I think we're short of 20 runs. So that gave the team a good score to at least play around with. So hopefully that wins us the game.
So now it's your chance to actually not to stop them, I can say, but at least to constrain them, right? So what's the plan?
We have some spinners, so it seems like its spinners are helping. It's helping the spinners, so hopefully our spinners do the job. So hopefully that's me, Supreet, and some other guys. So that's the plan.
All right, thank you so much for being here, guys. We are actually live from Sony Purchase at New York, and you are watching US Premier League. We'll be back shortly, right after this.
So we're back for the chase. 139 needed from 120 balls at an asking rate of 6.95. It's been quite a tricky surface to bat on, so 139 may not be the easiest chase there is. We saw earlier the Florida Sharks post 91. Carolina Eagles chased it with 6 wickets, winning by 6 wickets. And so, question is, can Maryland Mavericks defend 138 that they posted? That question is to be answered. So the Maryland Mavericks take the field, and they take the field having to defend 138. There you see Bayezid Siddiqui and Kunal Baride. Baride not the captain today, as he has been replaced by Mahesh Kasaka doing the duties. And here you see the Washington Seattle Hawks. They are the team now having to chase 139 needed for a win. And so the asking rate is 6.95. It's 139 from 120 balls. And we see the two batters out in the middle. We're here at beautiful SUNY Purchase College in New York, Westchester, New York, the city of Harrison. And so we are almost ready for the resumption here as we see the bowler take just mark his run up here. So we'll get the chase underway momentarily as Gaurav is the man who will start the attack, the batters. And we see the umpires just signaling around, making sure that we're all ready. You see Bridge Patel and Aziz, the batters out in the middle. Aziz Ali and Bridge Patel. Bridge Patel will be the man on strike, facing Gaurav Rana. 139 from 120 at an asking rate at just under 7 and over. So match number 10 of the US Premier League is into the final phase of day 1 in round 3. And this one is cracked away by Bridge Patel, so he's away. So, again, just above run a ball as they ask here. And batters will have to look to rotate the strike as best as possible, take the boundaries when they come, when the bad balls come. We know that will happen. So it's a matter of how well can Maryland Mavericks defend. The Washington Seattle Hawks, not to be confused with the Washington D.C. Team. So Seattle Washington is certainly up closer to is on the west coast, certainly in the northwest region of the U.S. And so they have made the trek all the way across country to be a part of this fantastic tournament. Played over several weeks, all the way through the end of August. Started on July 10th, so a 2-month period of intense cricket in the U.S. Premier League, which plays adjacent the minor league, U.S. minor league cricket, also playing around the various states across the U.S. Matches playing today up at Idlewild Park in New York. There are some matches in New Jersey, Philadelphia, and so the Northeast Corridor generally has activity each week. As this one is punched away up through the offside once again by Bridge Patel, so he doubles up his tally straight away. So a good start for Gaurav Rana, recognizing that 7 and over is the ask. So each over that you restrict the batters to less than 7 gives you the opportunity to look to put your foot on the necks of the opposition later in the contest. And this one is hit well. This will be 4. Ball outside the off stump with an offer, straight bat. And we'll watch it here as he just comes forward, just timing it sweetly, just extending the front foot and just slashing, throwing the hands at it, ball outside the off stump, and it's squirted away and raced away to the boundary for the first boundary of the response. And so Aziz Ali is away. 2 balls. He already has 5 runs. So ball played up into the offside for another couple, and so 9 runs in the over so far. In fact, the over comes to an end. 9 from it. It's 9 for 1. It's 9 for none after 1. So we are back with the action here at SUNY Purchase College, and the bowler will be Sankit. He'll start the second over, bowling to Bridge Patel. Patel on 2. CBTF, the most reliable gaming platform in the world, and the fastest cricket news in the world, Speed News, all courtesy of our title sponsor, CBTF. Without CBTF, events like these would not be possible. So, ball is short. Again, batsman looking to pull the ball through the onside and going across the delivery. Not the best option in these scenarios. So steady progress being made here by the Washington Hawks as they go in search of another victory here in this phase 2. Oh, Bolden. So played on, and so Bridge Patel has to go, dragged one back onto the stumps, and so it's now 11 for 1. The first wicket falls here in the power play, and just caught in two minds, trapped on the crease, looking, in fact, looked almost as if he made a double move, trying to steer the ball off the square. In the end, succeeds in just dragging it on back onto the stumps. It's 11 for 1 in over number 2.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते, आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So the batsman dismissed is Aziz Ali. He's bowled by Sankit Yadav. And so it's 10 for 1. 10 for 1 as the new batter walking to the middle is Masood Haq. And so Haq will take guard from umpire Philip Ray. And he'll face Sankit Yadav, who was struck early in the power play here, separating the opening partnership. And so Washington Hawks would have expected to be off to a much better start than they have. And so Maryland Mavericks, when you're defending a relatively small score, and may not be such a small score again, given that we believe 140 may be par on this surface now. And so this will become a very difficult ask for the Washington Hawks, as Sankit Yadav has found a good spot on the surface and continues to ply that spot over and over. And the consistency of either bowling a steady length, even if you might vary the line a bit or pull your length back here and there, just finding the right areas and bowling in the right areas. And there's a lot. He's gone. He's gone. The second wicket has fallen here, as Masood Haq looking to work the ball through the onside, trapped on the crease. We'll see it here as he looked to go through the onside and missed the ball completely. The ball hitting him on the back leg, and umpire Philip Ray had seen enough. The fateful finger goes up, and that's the end of Masood. He goes without scoring. It's now 10 for 2 as Maryland Mavericks come roaring into this contest, and they have their heels kicked up.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So Hyder Ali, the new batter who comes to the middle. And double wicket strike in this over already by Sankit Yadav. And so that will close out the over. 2 wickets in the over, 1 run conceded. It's 10 for 2 at the end of the second over. So we saw brilliant bowling in the Sankit Yadav over. Backed up the Gaurav Rana's over. Rana conceded 9, which was 2 in excess of what was required by the Washington Hawks. But Sankit Yadav came right back with a couple of clean strikes. First was the wicket of Aziz Ali, whose off stump got knocked back. And then it was Masood Haq trapped on the crease as he was struck on the back leg, looking to work a ball from off stump into the leg side. And so umpire Philip Ray raising the fateful finger, sending him on his way without scoring. Both wickets falling with the score on 10. So here's another quality delivery from Gaurav. So steady is the progress of the Maryland Mavericks. They have been steady throughout. As we have said, this wicket is not a 180, 190 wicket. And with 140 runs posted, it's going to take some chasing. And already that is proving to be prophetic. As again, all the Maryland Mavericks players on the balls of their feet. They are scampering around briskly, looking very active in the field. And every time a ball is played into the outfield, men are running to back up the stumps. All the men seem to be moving in the direction of where the ball has gone. And that just speaks to how plugged in they are, as this one is taking a thick outside edge and running down to a wideish third man position. Protection out there. Can't stop a single. And so Bridge Patel pushes up to 4, brings Hyder on to strike for the first time. For the first time against Gaurav, has faced 1 ball so far. 11 for 2, we're in over number 3. And here's another good delivery ball, this time looking to be keeping a tad bit low, as we've seen all along. And the sooner these Washington Hawks batters cope with the two-paced wicket here at SUNY Purchase, the better will be their opportunity at looking to overhaul 139, or really 138. They do need 139 to get there, so they're 128 away from their target. As this one defended up into the offside, so Hyder is away. And just 1 ball remaining here in the third over. So asking rate ticks up a bit, really right at the outset. Again, we're in the power play. Power play over is the first 6. That's where teams look to try to exact the most runs. So teams generally go very aggressive in the power play, with only 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. Teams generally see that as their best opportunity to put runs on the board. But so far we've seen a really good bowling effort here. in the power play, and so that single concludes the third over. 3 runs from it. It's 13 for 2 after 3.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट
So
किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारी ट्रीट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
रही है.
रखूँ. हाँ.
बेबी की चिट-चैट 3 minutes में इम्पॉसिबल. मगर MTR का 3 minute उपमा जस्ट ऐड हॉट वाटर, मिक्स, कवर और 3 minutes में रेडी. MTR 3 minute breakfast. इंडिया का ब्रेकफास्ट.
So we're back at SUNY Purchase, over number 4. Oh, well hit into the gap. But there's in fact protection out that long off, just ambling around, keeping the batters to just 1 as the man coming around there was Supreet Madan. So keeping the batters to just a single. So Sankit Yadav with ball in hand and getting a good delivery again. We see just the surface doing all kinds of tricks here, playing all kinds of tricks. Ball there pitched just back of a length, and Haider not sure that he knew where that one was, didn't know much about it. So 14 on the board. Oh, hit well into the onside towards the backward square region. And there's a fielder posted at mid-wicket, but he gives up the chase. And that's 4 good-looking runs as the man running across looked to have been, I believe the man out there may have been Jamin Goswami, but he wasn't able to pull it in. And so 4 runs to the total, and so Haider goes up to 5. Oh, hit well into the onside. This one is going against the wall, gone the distance, and so that's 6 runs to Haider Ali, and so now he's taken a liking to this bowling. Short pitched, hit into the distance. Again, Goswami in the deep, looking up and just collecting it off the wall as the first maximum of this response, of this chase. And when you hit them like that, it makes the chase easy. And so Haider Ali, a couple of lusty blows struck in this over. Already 11 off the over. And Haider Ali on the go. And another quality delivery this time. So good comeback here by Sankit. Ball outside the off stump and whizzing by the blade of Haider Ali as he looked to punch the ball through the offside. Didn't seem to be in line of the delivery. And so couldn't get bat onto ball on that occasion. Here is Sankit again. And this time correctly in position and in behind the line of delivery is Haider Ali. And so that will close out the over. And so it's 11 runs from it. And so it's 24 for 2 at the end of 4.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता. इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So you see the wicket there falling as Bridge Patel nicks one, and he's well caught at the wicket, and certainly we saw a very good effort. By Bridge Patel. A couple of the deliveries he smashed out, one out of the ground, and the other was hitting through the onside for a boundary. And so the last laugh goes to the Maryland Mavericks as they see the back of Bridge Paul. He falls, and it's now 24 for 3 as Gaurav Rana picks up his first. So Dhruval Dagley, the new batter who comes to the middle, he comes in at the dismissal of Bridge Patel. So the batter who had struck the 6 on the 4 in the previous over would have been Haider Ali. So he remains out in the middle, standing at the non-striker's end at the moment. Dhruv Dagley replaces Bridge Patel. Patel went for 6 off 11 balls. Had no boundaries in his innings, so didn't hang around for long. So 115 more are needed from 95 balls. Asking rate is 7.26. You see it there, 15.5 over, or 19 or 95 balls remaining. Oh, again, batters playing on the back foot. And look at this, the ball just keeping entirely low, just not getting up whatsoever. And we have said batters can ill afford to be on the back foot on this surface. Even if you're a back foot player, the ball is pitched short. You have to be thinking there's a possibility that that ball won't come up off the surface. And hence what makes this a treacherous batting strip, as this one is finding the gap in the offside, running up towards the backward point boundary. And a man giving chase up there is Kapil Khanna. In fact, they come back for a second somehow. They were able to manufacture an extra run there. And so it's, in fact, they end up getting 3. I think they ended up with 3 off the delivery. And so Haider Ali now back onto strike, 27 for 3. So 27 for 3, the total on the board. So Haider Ali on 11. He's batted well. Ball outside the off stump, so he's gotten a couple of good deliveries here from Gaurav Rana. And so 1 ball remain in over number 5. So this is a good power play from a Maryland Mavericks standpoint. And when Maryland Mavericks batted, it may not have been the same situation. We'll have to take a look back at their batting display to see where they were after at the same point. They were 26, so just about at the same position. After 5 overs, they were at 26 when they batted, so similarly poised, except the Mavericks had all 10 wickets in hand at that point, as that will complete the over. And so there is 3 runs from it. A successful over from a Maryland Mavericks standpoint is 27 for 3 after 5.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So Sankit Yadav will continue. 2 overs, 2 for 12 so far. And so looking for more here. Gaurav has bowled 3 overs, 1 for 15. And the batters in the middle, Haider Ali is at the non-strikers end. The man on strike is Dhruv Dagley. And Dagley is turning this into the onside. In comes Jay Goswami. Can't stop 2 as pressure on the fielder causes him to make a mistake. And so fumble is in the outfield, allows the batters to come back. And so Washington Hawks push on. It's not an easy chase by any means, but they're proving that they are up for the challenge. And so going about their business meticulously and methodically, as this one is down the off and it's a wide, as the fielders are appealing for a catch at the wicket. And we see that on so many occasions where the ball is going down the leg side. Fielders are all appealing for a catch. Umpire is not interested. Umpire Kumar having a look and deciding, come on, guys, are you kidding me? This cannot be. You cannot be appealing for a catch at the wicket when, in fact, ball has gone down the leg side. Again, this one defended up into the offside. They scamper through for an easy single in the end. The throw came in, but the batter was well home. And so the score pushes on. 31 on the board. And we've seen really a good spirited effort. We've seen a couple of decent partnerships. Nothing of any remarkable substance. The best partnership so far, 14 from 14 between Haider Ali and Brij Patel. And the 14-run partnership came courtesy really of two scoring blows struck by Haider Patel. One that went for 4, one that went for 6. And otherwise, we've only seen a partnership of 10 between Aziz Ali and Brij Patel. Partnership of 10 off 9 balls. And otherwise, it's been very, very anemic run production from the Washington Hawks, as they've struggled here against some really solid bowling from Gaurav and Sankit. That said, they're still in the hunt with 7 wickets in hand. Good batting lineup, good number of players in the hut that can deliver, as the ball is played up to Goswami at deep backward square. So another single then to Haider Ali. gets him off strike and hands it off to Drewville Dagley. Dagley has been somewhat circumspect, has been watchful, recognizes the task and what's asked of him here on the afternoon. So, for the moment, opting to temper any real aggression. And so batting with a purpose here and batting with a known outcome or an anticipated outcome in mind as they're looking to pick up a victory here against this Maryland Mavericks outfit. And so far in this tournament, we've seen the Washington Hawks on another good delivery. In fact, now there's a mix-up here, and so they're going to take advantage of perhaps a leg bye, or bye it is. And so one bye added to the total will complete the over. And so there's 6 runs from it. It's 33 for 3 at the end of the power play.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead।
So Kapil Khanna has been given the ball, so he'll come into the attack here with the Mavericks looking to defend 138. So it's 33 for 3, Washington Hawks. Washington Hawks, they have won one, lost one so far. Maryland Mavericks looking to stay unbeaten. Okay, so actually Varshil Shah is the bowler. And so Shah So the score pushes along by 1 here, up to 35. So another over comes to an end. And
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो।
Visit cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So Jamin Goswami has been introduced here. And so ball is hit down the ground for a single to Dhruv Dagley. So Dagley pushes up to 9. Total up to 37. The Washington Hawks, they need another 102 from 12.5 overs, as you can see on screen. Importantly, as this will be a wide ball, and that will reduce the equation by 1. Importantly, the Maryland Mavericks are looking to stay unbeaten in phase 2. They've won 2 on the trot so far. And this one is hit well down the ground, a full toss, and it's hit out of the playing area. Gone for a maximum. And so Haider Ali is not playing around. He gets one, a full toss, and he smashes it into the parking lot. And that takes him up to 19. And you can see the parking lot area there. You see the tent, and the ball has gone a long way into the distance. So Jay Goswami missed his length completely. And you see umpire Kumar Saravana Venkatesan looking at that ball just to make sure that it hasn't sustained too much damage that would preclude it from being continued to be used. And so after expressing his satisfaction that he's good, ball is tossed back to Goswami. He's come back with a couple of good deliveries. Subsequently, this one hit down the ground for another single. And so game somewhat evenly poised. 94 needed. That said, we've seen the batters, the Washington Hawks batters, seemingly content to being very patient. Haider Ali, we know, is a ball striker. We know he can hit them out of the ground. So for now, a partnership blossoming here between Haider Ali and Dhruv Dagley. And so the longer this partnership stays together, the better the prospects for the Washington Hawks. Ball down the leg side, paddled away, and we'll wait to see if he actually got bat onto it. And no is the indication from the wide signaled. And so that pushes Washington Hawks closer to their first team milestone. 48 the total on the board. They're within striking distance of the half-century mark, as Dhruv is working this one up into the onside for an easy single. And we see the man coming in there. Can't stop the single. And that was Praneeth, I believe, coming in. In fact, it's not Praneeth out there, but not able to stop the single. And so that closes out the over. And it's 13 from it. It's 49 for 3 at the end.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारे पेट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
रही है.
रखूँ. हाँ.
बेबी की चिट-चैट 3 minutes में? Impossible. मगर MTR का 3-minute उपमा. Just add hot water, mix, cover और 3 minutes में ready. MTR 3-minute breakfast. India का breakfast.
So ball hit down the ground towards Sanket Yadav, posted at long on. And so Varshil Shah continues here and has been very steady, if not spectacular. Has not picked up a wicket, but has been very economical. Just 3 runs conceded in his first over. Back-to-back singles, and actually 50 comes up in the over as well. 50 to the Washington Hawks. They've crossed the 50 mark in over number 9. And we'll look back at the innings of the Maryland Mavericks shortly just to see what at what point in time they crossed the 50 mark. And if we look at that, they would have crossed 50, the Washington Hawks. Would have crossed 50 in over, as this one is hit well down the ground, and it's gone for a maximum. And so Haider Ali was really taking the attack here to the Maryland Mavericks bowlers. And you see it here going out and over into the parking lot area. And it's gone a long way. What a strike. And so he is gunning here, batting at 27 off 20 balls. And so 58 for 3, the total on the board. The Washington Hawks in a good position, 81 needed from 11.2 overs. So just over 7 and over the asking rate. So still on course, within striking distance of the very asking rate at the outset of this chase. And one cannot underestimate the batting effort here of Haider Ali in this partnership, and as he has looked to steer this chase, and he has been the impetus behind the Washington Hawks, has really powered this inning so far. 27 out of the 58 runs on the board. Roughly almost half of the runs scored coming off the blade of Haider Ali, has really led the way from a position of seeing what is happening on the surface and taking advantage of the short boundaries, and has gone over the boundary 3 times in his innings, which we have not seen with any consistency here in both games that we've seen on the day. So Ali continues to bat well, continues to rotate the strike, as in this particular over, the Washington Hawks have scored from every delivery in this over so far, including a maximum. And they will complete the over having scored from every delivery, as now they are thinking about coming for a second, and now they'll come back for the second as the fumble in the deep allowed the batters to compensate and to take advantage. And so the over ends 12 runs from it. It's 61 for 3 at the end of 9.
As per the performance of the previous year, we can see that. हाँ बेबी, कुछ नहीं.
सुबह क्या भूल गए?
Breakfast भूल गया. कर लूँगा.
इतनी बार बोला है, ऐसे मत लेट किया करो.
3 minutes.
अभी तुम्हारी ट्रीट में एसिडिटी हो
बेबी
रही है.
रखूँ. हाँ.
बेबी की चिट-चैट 3 minutes में? Impossible. मगर MTR का 3 minute उपमा. Just add hot water, mix, cover और 3 minutes में ready. MTR 3 minute breakfast. India का breakfast.
So you see a wicket falling here as the delivery going straight through the gates. And again playing on as it looked to work the ball through the onside. The ball going almost under the bat and knocking the off stump out of the ground. And so Haider Ali, he falls for a well-played 28. It's now 61 for 4.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है. इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो।
Visit cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So we're back with the action. 61 for 4 as we get the signal from umpire Kumar that we're ready for the resumption. And the new batter that comes to the middle is Jamel Parion. And so he starts out working a delivery into the outside for a couple, so he's away. And you can see that 76 more are needed. 10 overs will remain after this one. And so again, batter having to adjust the shot that he had contemplated at the outset. So again, speaks to how uncertain this surface is played. But batters have had to adjust. This one taking an inside edge, running up towards the boundary, behind square. And so Jamel will pick up his third run. And heat and humidity at SUNY Purchase has reached the peak here, as it's we've talked about how warm things have been. At one point last week communicated we had been in the 92 degree range. Let's see if anything has changed here at SUNY Purchase. I think we're somewhat still in that same range. Now it's 93. So things starting to cook here at USPL, US Premier League. But not only is it cooking here, it's cooking all across the U.S. We've seen temperatures reach into the low hundreds, or at least what feels like 100 plus scorching temperatures all across the U.S. So as this one is away, beating the keeper and running towards the third man boundary. Could be quite a few wides. In fact, no ball it may be. And we get the call for no ball. And it's buys and it's gone all the way. And so this will result in a free hit as by runs, 4 of them. And so free hit ball upcoming here, and Dhruv will get the free strike at the free hit. And I think what might have happened is that ball might have gone completely off the mat. And it's hit well down the ground in between long on and long off. And so adding insult to injury, the free hit has been taken down the ground for a boundary. And so that one ball in effect yielded 9 runs. And so 12 runs off the over. And so it's 73 for 4 at the end of 10 overs. So a new bowler being introduced here as Praneeth has been given the ball. So he comes in for the first time. And so Praneeth becomes the 6th bowler used here by the Maryland Mavericks. And so he joins Gaurav Rana, bowled 3 overs 1 for 15. Sanket Yadav, 3 overs 2 for 17. Varshil Shah, 2 overs none for 15. Jamin Goswami, 1 over none for 13. Kapil Khanna, he bowled his one over, took one for 12. And so Praneeth becomes the 6th bowler to be used here. And he starts with one outside the off stump that's going for a wide. And so well off the line that he was intending to bowl. And so Jamel punches that one. 75 then the total. Turned into the onside, so Praneeth is just seeing deliveries just being worked around the ground at the moment. So called upon, I'm sure, to try to inflict some further damage on this Washington Hawks run chase. And so far has kept things relatively tidy here. 3 legal deliveries registered in the over so far. It's conceded 3 runs, one including a wide. So good bowling by Praneeth. Again, we've seen some of these batters playing on the back foot, and quickly Dhruv Dagley goes down to Jamel Parion and saying something to him like, perhaps you don't want to be playing on the back foot, son. And this time he's back and across, pulling this one into the onside. There's protection at deep mid-wicket. They think about 2. 1 is all that will be on offer in the end. And so 1 ball remained here in the 11th over. Still 62 runs to get from your 9.1 overs. So just under 7 and over the ask. Not the most imposing, and right on the asking rate at the outset. So Washington Hawks are well poised here. It's a matter of, can Maryland Mavericks continue to inflict damage by picking up wickets as the over comes to an end? Just 4 runs from it. And so at the end of 11, it's the Washington Hawks needing 139. They're 77 for 4.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtspnews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो। विजिट cbtspnews.com and stay ahead।
Right-hander. All right, so 77 for 4, over number 12, about to get underway here. And so Jamel parry on the man on strike. Ooh, ball just landing in front of sank it down at long off. And so a single to Jamel pushes him along. And the game certainly evenly poised at this juncture. Just about still 7 and over the ask. 4 batters back in the hut for the Washington Hawks. And this one will go away for another boundary. As you see it here, just being paddled behind square. And so this one will run away for a boundary there. As you see, Masood looking in, as you see Tokir Hassan looking on as that one ran away towards backward square. So that adds to the Washington Hawks' cause as they push along. Again, an appeal for a catch at the wicket. And so there's been an ebb and flow here between the Mavericks and the Washington Hawks. Mavericks need wickets. Hawks just need to continue to do what they're doing, which is to keep the scoreboard moving. This time he's down and looking to go across the line in the air. Should be out. And it's gone. Can ill afford to have wickets fall so cheaply. Just down the track, just completely unnecessary on the part of the Washington Hawks. Ball was in the air and comfortably taken and just tossed back in. As now it's 82 for 5, 82 for 5. So Asad Ali strides to the middle. He comes in here at 82 for 5. And he'll join Jamal Parion. Parion on 6. And he has been steady, if not spectacular. And they continue to run here. They'll probably have to run. I might have suggested they may have to run 4, but they end up with 3 in the end. And so 3 to Jamel pushes him along. And the equation down to 54 needed from 49 balls. Or 7.1, or make that 8.1 overs. So Asad Ali comes on to strike for the first time. Gets one that he's defending that will close out the over. 8 runs from it. It's a successful over from a Maryland Mavericks standpoint. And so after 12, it's 85 for 5.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो।
Visit cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So we're back with the action. Just 8 overs or 54 or 48 balls remain, 54 runs to get. And you see the man there just rubbing his hands in the dirt, Praneeth. And Nemaru Gamala. And so he starts at one outside the off stump, punched up to cover. And can't beat Mahesh Kesaka. So Mahesh has posted himself at short cover. And this time choosing the other side is Jamel. So he goes through the onside this time to get himself off strike. So again, what might be considered a tricky chase here. Washington Hawks have gone about it in a methodical way. And while they've not overpowered this bowling attack off the Maryland Mavericks, who are looking to stay unbeaten, they have done enough. This one hit well, oh, through the hands of the skipper. And that's gone away for a single, so perhaps a chance there for Asad Ali. Let's take a look. As we see, is hitting against the spin and perhaps may have been a tad bit high, and allows Assad to get off the mark, and it brings Jamel back onto strike. So not a long way to go here for Washington Hawks. 52 won't be easy, but they have proven they're equal to the task, and they're continuing to look to build pressure. And as we've talked about, building pressure often results in batters making mistakes. And he's bowled him. So said, so done. Pressure building up, and Jamel looking to go big, looking to go over the top. A couple of dot balls in the over, just 2 runs conceded up to that point. And so we watch it here as he goes back, swinging across the line, beaten completely, and sees the middle and leg stump rocked back. And so that's the end of Jamel. He falls for 10. It's now 87 for 6.
अगर आपके पास स्पीड है तो आपको कोई हरा नहीं सकता। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो।
Visit cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So the captain strides to the middle, Baizid Siddiqui, and he will face Praneeth, who's got 1 delivery remaining here in over number 13, with the Washington Hawks in a spot of bother, having lost 6 wickets, so 6 of their top batters back in the hut. And for all intents and purposes, the Maryland Mavericks have gotten into the tail here of the Washington Hawks. Question is, how well can this tail wag? And how strong a tail is this? As ball defended to close out the over. Successful one from a Maryland Mavericks standpoint. Only 2 runs coming from it. It's 87 for 6 at the end of 13.
अपोनेंट चाहे कितना भी स्ट्रांग हो, स्पीड के आगे घुटने टेक देता है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो।
Visit cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So a couple of dots here to start over number 14. As Varshil Shah has been reintroduced and starts with three dots on the trot. So Asad Ali has come to play 4-day cricket, has defended everything he has faced so far. No intent at a gun. He's bowled. So the first intent of aggression, or the first sign of aggression, sees him losing his middle stump here as we watch the delivery from Varshil. And the middle stump knocked backwards. And so that's the end of Assad. It's now 87 for 7. And Washington Hawks may have lost their way here as they're struggling with just 3 wickets in hand. Still 52 more runs to get.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो।
Visit cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So we'll pick up the new batsman here momentarily, as Baizid was the man who got bowled in the previous delivery. So Preet Patel has come into the fray, and couple of singles. To close out the over, and so it's 14 overs completed. So here is Praneeth, and ball is tugged into the onside by Assad. was looking to pull it into the onside. Ball would have trickled down into the third man region. Either way, he picks up run number 4 here. So only a couple of wickets in hand here for the Washington Hawks. And they have lost their way here. Run rate is starting to escalate. And as the run rate elevates, so too the chances for the Maryland Mavericks. This is hit well and hit down the ground, and that's a good bit of footwork done in the deep. Restrict the batters to just a single. And so the man had to sacrifice the boot. As you see him running across here and doing well, Sanket Yadav, and restricting the batters to just one. And so, oh, this is hit well. No chance here. Well hit by Asad Ali into the parking lot area. And you see a man running out there, Sridhar, I think it is, looking to go retrieve that one. It's hit a long way into the parking lot. And one of the fielders who are not playing today having to help with the retrieval. That will take the total close to the century mark. Assad goes up to double figures. Boundary, or maximum that was well needed. CBTF maximum. So another milestone upcoming here perhaps, and looking to paddle this one is Assad. Doesn't make contact, doesn't get the execution he might have been looking for or expecting. Final couple of balls here actually remaining in over number 15, as this one is punched up into the offside. And so Assad will get off strike and turn the proceedings then over. And so that actually completes the 15th over, and after 15 it's 19-9 for 7. So 40 needed from 30 balls. Asking rate is 8 and over. So still the match hanging in the balance here. It could go either way. Both teams still in with a good shot of winning. Perhaps the Washington Hawks, their hopes will rest on the blade of Asad Ali, who's batted well so far. And he gets one that he's punching down the ground towards long on. Sanket is there. Oh, and it beats them both. So right between Sanket, a miscommunication in the deep as we watch it here on the back foot, hitting straight down the ground in the gap. And both long on, long off, running across each other. And neither one able to get onto it. And you see them looking at each other as if to say, oh, I thought you had it. And the other man going, I thought you had it. And so it brings up the 100 in the process. As batters scamper through for sharply taken single. So quickly Assad goes up to 15. In fact, make that 16. And now the equation down to 35 needed from 5 overs after this one. Well, 4 overs, 5 overs including this one. As this one again punched into the onside for another single. And so match truly hanging in the balance, as if you're the Maryland Mavericks, you would be thinking you may just need to pick up one more important wicket here, which would be this man, Asad Ali. And then if you can see the back of Ali relatively soon, you would think the match would be hanging, in fact, would be in your favor. And down he comes once again, goes big. It's in the air. Mano takes a spectacular catch. What a catch, taken one-handed, misjudged it at first. He came charging in. We'll watch here. And it goes one-handed. And a man out in the deep, Supreet Madan, and he pulls off a stunner. And so Asad Ali goes And that could be the last nail here in the coffin for the Washington Hawks, as Assad Ali looking to go big, looking to go over the top. Looked like he had it, but somehow Supreet Madan comes up with the catch, perhaps of the day, maybe of the tournament. 105 for 7. For 8 make it. So Bilal Zulfikar walks to the middle at a crucial point. Only 2 wickets remain in hand for the Washington Hawks. There are still 4 overs to be bowled. They still have 34 runs to get. Asking rate is 8.5. So the asking rate now approaching almost 9 and over to get over the line. And it's going to be, looks like Varshil again coming back to the party here. So he replaces Praneeth. Praneeth, who was bowled well, 3 overs, 1 for 16. And so Varshil will look to bowl out here. And so he starts with a good one. And so the over comes to an end. 16 gone, 105 for 8.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो।
Visit cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So Kapil Khanna will continue here. And Kapil so far has bowled 1 for 12. Four overs remaining here in the innings. And this one is hit well down the ground by Prit Patel. So he picks up another run. It's 33 then needed. And so the outcome here perhaps favors the Maryland Mavericks. But as we know, anything can happen in this wonderful game of cricket. Another single taken. For now, it looks like these batters, Bilal and Preet, may just look to hang in there just to try to score off each delivery here, which would at least give them 22 runs. And then they may, well, they will have to score a few boundaries in between. Dot ball does not help their situation. Again, another good delivery here, swing and a miss. And so the good bowling of Kapil Khanna again coming to the fore, as we've seen every time that the Maryland Mavericks have needed to have someone put their hand up to challenge this response from the Washington Hawks. somebody has come through. If we wanted to look back just as far as the previous over, we saw a spectacular catch taken by Supreet Madan, having to run all the way around. Came running in, may have misjudged the ball off the blade of Asad Ali for a moment, then had to adjust, and then just stuck that right paw up there in midair and plucked the ball out of the sky. Otherwise, it looked as if it was going for a maximum. And so just in the blink of an eye, one fell swoop, what appeared to be a maximum for Washington Hawks ended up being a wicket, and perhaps an important wicket, no less, of a batter that looked like he was on the charge, looking to be punching his way towards victory here for the Washington Hawks. Just 32 more runs are needed. Just 19 balls remain, though. Oh, this one is hit well in the air, in the deep. Two men converge, and the catch is taken. What a catch in the deep. And we'll see it here on the back foot, looking to go big, hit well. But it had more height than it had distance. And coming around and making it look easy in the end. Very well judged, very well taken. It's now 108 for 9, 107 for 9.
जिंदगी में जीत उसी की होती है जिसके पास स्पीड होती है। इसलिए अपनी फैंटेसी टीम बनाने से पहले विजिट cbtfspeednews.com। यहाँ आपको मिले मैच प्रीव्यूज, टीम अपडेट्स, स्टेडियम स्टैट्स और बहुत कुछ, ताकि मैच कोई भी जीते आपका प्रेडिक्शन कभी गलत ना हो।
Visit cbtfspeednews.com and stay ahead.
So the last man walks to the middle in the form of Tamid Ahmed. 32 runs to get. Not a lot of, well, no, there are no more resources left in the hut. And 3 overs remain, so not a lot of deliveries, just 18 of them. Asking rate now up over 10, almost approaching 11 here as you can see on screen, 10.67 the ask. And so it's going to be a very tricky situation now the rest of the way for the Washington Hawks, as Supreet has been given the ball here, so he comes in. Having bowled 1 for 8, Supreet, 1 over for for 8 runs. So Bilal Zulfikar, the non-striker. Tamid Ahmed, the man on strike. So this one hit up to a cover point, up to point, and no chance to score here. And so Maryland Mavericks looking to go 3 on the trot. They have won 2 games in the first 2 rounds of Phase 2, looking to pick up their 3rd consecutive victory here. As ball played up into the offside for a single. And singles can't hurt the Maryland Mavericks. The Washington Hawks will require scoring boundaries here. 108 the total on the board. Still 31 more needed. And the 31 are needed very urgently, as only 16 balls remain, or 2.4 overs. You see it on your screen. And Bilal Zulfikar now comes. He's on strike. He has just scored one, and this one is being stared off the square for a single. And so Maryland Mavericks look like they'll successfully defend 138 here, as a lot of risk now will have to be taken by the Washington Hawks. And do they have the firepower here in their last pair to get them there? That's left to be seen. Singles will not hurt Maryland. Swinging across the line, and an appeal, and the shaking of the head from side to side from umpire Kumar, indicating that he's not convinced that that delivery would have been out. And you see it here swinging across the line. Ball looking eerily close. May have been pitched outside the leg stump, or perhaps might have been missing leg. Dead ball indication there. So a reminder that tomorrow's doubleheader will feature the New Jersey Titans and the Pennsylvania Cavaliers, and then also the Texas and New York Gothams, and that will do it. That will do it, as a brilliant bit of work by the keeper here, as swinging and a foot in the air, and the appeal goes up, and it's been given. And so that's the end of the Washington Hawks, as the wicket falls. Bilal has been stumped, and good work by the keeper here, Tokar Hassan. He picks the bails, and so it's all over, bar the shouting. It's a 28-run win for the Maryland Mavericks, as they keep their unbeaten streak, and they remain undefeated in this Phase 2, and continue to push forward towards a championship here in Phase 2, as they celebrate. A despondent Maryland Mavericks walk off the field of play. And so that will complete it. We will take a pause here and return on the other side of the break for some interviews and to close out today's proceedings, with just a reminder that tomorrow the weekend's tournament will continue with match number 11 and match number 12. And in those matchups, New Jersey Titans and Pennsylvania Cavaliers will play at 10 a.m. And then the Texas Cowboys will take on the New York Gothams at 2 p.m. So we'll see you back here tomorrow, but stay tuned for the interviews after this, and then we'll return for action on day 2 of round 3.
All right, 138 for 8, and we were all hoping that how this match is going to end. And yes, again, we can say that this is the winner right here. With me, the captain right here, Mahesh from Maryland Mavericks. He has 3 games on a row. So, oh my God, how much exciting this is.
It is very exciting. Of course, it's a hat trick of winning the games. So we are very happy. The other reason why we are happy is because we could defend the lowest total. 138, we felt like we were short of about 20 odd runs. But I was confident because we had 11 bowlers technically, right? So, and we were watching the first game. We saw that the pitch is behaving a bit weirdly for spinners, and we just took the advantage of that. Our thinking was the power play will define the output of the game. Our pacers were given us specific targets. They were bowling amazingly well. That has put us in the game, and then we had our spinners who helped us finish it. On top of that, I think everybody knows catches win matches. You must have seen a couple of amazing catches from our side. That has changed the game, right? So we're very happy about it.
Of course. So, well, Best wishes to you for all your upcoming matches, and we want to welcome the man of the match for this hot afternoon. Yes, Kapil will be here, and right here with me is Mr. Ashok Chopra, who is going to hand over the award to him for man of the match this afternoon. We would love to have Kapil here. So, guys, yes, we want to say one more time that CBTF, Speed News, and MTR is our proud sponsors, and we are right now live from SUNY Purchase College at New York. So, yes, please join. Yes, of course. All right, so at the break we were talking that how this is going to end, and the end is really so sweet. So, and you are the man of the match.
Yeah, it's been one of the best matches actually I played. The other team was very good, their bowling was good, and our bowling was actually perfect today. So yeah, it was a good game of cricket. It's hot, but yeah, it worked out in the end for us. So that's all that matters.
All right, congrats. So, yes, Ashok ji, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, our viewers globally, worldwide, and of course in USA, please do come back tomorrow morning right here to watch us live at US Premier League from SUNY Purchase College at New York. Till